Either 4790 Cyrus here. Well, it's that time of year again, where all the great AAA titles get released in the fall, along with some niche titles. And this fall has some particularly very strong titles coming out, from Batman Arkham City, Dark Souls, to Skyrim, to even some niche titles like the Skyrim and Atelier Tutori that just came out recently. Some people even say this is the best year for gaming, though I wouldn't be really too sure about that. But anyway, but the coming of all these great titles leaves one sad inevitability, well, for me anyway, and probably for some gamers, is that our backlog of games get even bigger. That's right. I thought I would make this video about my backlog, since, well, it happens usually this time of year, since we've all so many great titles, and that we usually forget about the games we usually play. The game itself doesn't even have to be bad. We just forgot about it because we're more interested in the AAA titles coming this fall. Though for this backlog video, I'll probably go a little more detail. What I'm probably going to do is film some gameplay footage and give my personal opinion on the game. Not full-on review, but just what I think of the game, and probably state the reason why I haven't played it. Anyway, let's begin! The first game is Resident Evil 5. This game, well, I honestly think it plays more of an action game than a survival horror game. But that's not really the reason why I stopped playing this game. I mean, I don't really play much horror games to begin with. I just basically bought this game since my friend in high school was, and they were my gamer friends. So I was interested on the Resident Evil series. I mean, I played Code Veronica, but not very long. Anyway, the main reason why I stopped playing this game was that I suck at conserving ammo. I was playing a veteran. Got like the boat chapter, but I had no ammo left, and all the money I did use it was for ammo, so I couldn't get any gun upgrades. And I didn't really feel like starting over, so I just kinda gave up. So yeah, still the game looks pretty good for the time it came out. It plays more like an action game than a survival horror game from the parts I did play it. Well, anyway, to the next game. The next game is Dynasty Warrior Strike Force. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the Dynasty Warrior well enough. I mean, I like Dynasty Warrior 6 and 7 and 5, though 6 is the lowest of the 3, I think. Well, in my opinion. I just couldn't get into Strike Force for some reason. Maybe because it just feels a bit too floaty when I do air attacks. And I really like doing air attacks in Dynasty Warriors. But anyway, that's probably the main reason why I don't like it. It's just too floaty for me for the attacks. And I really don't like how the mission is structured in this game. I only play for a few minutes, but seem to be really similar. And that's really all my opinion on the Dynasty Warrior Strike Force. I mean, I haven't really played it long, so I really can't form a proper opinion on it. But that's what I think from just playing a few minutes, half an hour. Will I likely come back to the game to finish it, so I can cross it off my backlog? Maybe, if I don't really have any games to play. Still, don't really like Strike Force for some reason. Anyway, on to the next game. The next game on the list is Final Fantasy XIII. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't hate Final Fantasy XIII by any means. I personally don't think it's as bad as people say. Well, majority GameFAQs people said anyway. I still think it's a pretty good game with some very glaring issues, such as dying if the character you control dies when you can control your other characters. Well, at least at the upside, that AI in Final Fantasy XIII is pretty competent. I mean, they will heal you when you set their class to healer, and they will exploit enemy's weakness. Like if enemy is weak to fire, they will use cast fire. So at least we don't really have to worry much about the AI in this game. I still personally think it's a good game, not great game, but good game. Great graphics, and one of the only games that runs it on 1920 and 1080i. The battle system is pretty fun, though you will be smashing auto battle, but at least the paradigm mix it up a bit. Story is interesting enough, even if it doesn't make sense of it and you have to read the data log. But yeah, I still think it's a good game with some issues. But it looks like Final Fantasy XIII 2 is fixing some of those issues. Anyway, the main reason why this game is in my backlog is I got interested in another game. That's all really. And my interests just moved on when a new game came out. Though I started working on it yesterday to complete it, managed to beat Dynasty at Grand Pulse and return to Cocoon. But anyway, to the next game. The next game is Eternal Sonata. Now, I really like this game. This game is very visually pleasing to the eyes. The battle system is pretty fun. Mixes turn-based and real-time combat. Story is, well, I can't really judge the story since I'm not that far yet. Though characters are pretty likable, maybe except for Beat and Salsa. Also like some of the Chaplin parts to it. Kind of interesting to read about it. Though I do feel that the dialogue in this game does drag out a bit. But still, overall, very enjoyable game. Now, for the reason why this game is my backlog, well, it's because I was lost in the first dungeon. I mean, I didn't know what to do in the first dungeon. I mean, well, the ruins. I was confused what to do. So I just left it down for a bit. I went back to it, eventually completed, so I'm working on Eternal Sonata right about now. Well, after I play Atelier Tutori and Dark Souls, but still working on my backlog. So anyway, to the next game. The next game is Mirror's Edge. Now, Mirror's Edge is a pretty interesting game. It's a game that's in the first person perspective that isn't a shooter. I know, FPS, yada yada, too many, yada yada, but I really found it's pretty refreshing to play when it came out. Well, when I bought it, I didn't buy it when it came out, but still. I also really like the art style of this game, and the animation is all pretty good. So overall, it's a pretty entertaining game. Though the reason why it's in my backlog, well, it's mostly because I was stuck at one obstacle and kind of gave up on it. But then, just like Final Fantasy XIII, I came back at it and managed to overcome that obstacle. So yeah. Okay, now to the next game. The next game on the list is 99 Nights 2. Now, 99 Nights 2 is like the shift from Dynasty Warrior 5 to Dynasty Warrior 6. What I mean by that is they got rid of the combo system and tried to make it more free-flowing. So there's no longer any combos 99 Nights 2 like 99 Nights 1. You just have your standard attack, heavy attack, special attack, jump attacks, orb sparks. But I still like 99 Nights 2 much better than Dynasty Warrior 6. For one, the enemy is pretty numerous, in the thousands, and the AI is pretty challenging. I mean, it's a pretty hard hack and slash game. I mean, not hard as in Ninja Gaiden, but hard as this type of hack and slash game where you have numerous enemies, and they're all basically cannon fodder. And I really like the boss battles as well. Though I have to say I like 99 Nights 1 better. Basically because I think it had a better story, and I like the combo system in these type of hack and slash games as well. But that's mostly it. I also like the characters more in 99 Nights 1 than in 2. Now, for the reason why this game is in my backlog, is the same reason for Final Fantasy 13. I got interested in another game, though I will probably try to get back to it, since in the brief time I did play it, I really enjoyed it. Let's go onward to the next game.